If we position ourselves correctly with the right partners and we integrate the right platforms, most suitable platforms onto XDC, then we really are a sleeping giant that is in the process of waking up.
We on location. I remember way back. You ain't have no swag. You did a little research. Now you got a moon bag. Now you got a new walk. Now you got new swag. You did a little research. Now you got a moon bag. Well, let me show you what the moon bag's like. You take them gains when it gets that high. I mean, the market may dip for a little bit. That's when I hurry up and buy. Me, I just wanna rub them thighs. I like my oatmeal chunky. Banana nuts all in it. Shit, you're talking about the blockchain monkeys. It's a solo nation.
Now, when it comes to crypto, we're talking about cold storage. Get your crypto off the exchange and into a cold storage wallet to where only you have access. Okay? DCENT wallet link in the description. Now, what is going on, blockchain monkeys? Igor here, and I want to thank you for coming to my jungle. First of all, I'm no financial advisor whatsoever, nor am I professional in blockchain technology, but there is one thing that I absolutely will do, and that's give my opinion. So today, we're going to go down on XDC and XRP, because what they are doing right now to this cryptocurrency space is blowing the top off. You got ISO 222 breathing down your neck, and we are saying bye to Swift.
Saying bye to Swift. Keep it walking. Respect your elders in these.
But before we can even get started, I need you to rub them hands together real vigorously and slide down Twitter. Coming in hot, we have crypto built. Impel's technology shows how ISO 222 is driving transformative changes in the trade payment landscape as a solution provider built on the XDC network. And so I want to take a look at this article. I mean, it's fresh. Coming in hot, July 11th, 2023, ISO 222, revolutionizing trade payments with instant settlement via API and digital assets. And so we have here, in the ever-revolving landscape of trade payments, a notable trend is gaining momentum as the global financial industry embraces ISO 222, a data-rich and interoperable universal messaging format set to replace the legacy messaging text MT that has prevailed for years. The renewed urgency stems from the imminent November 2025 deadline when the Society for Worldwide Interbank Funds Transfer SWIFT plans to decommission the MT format. With the advent of ISO 222, a new era of increased efficiency and digitization for trade payments has dawned. The shift sparked the proliferation of innovation fintech companies seeking to support the industry's continuous quest to redefine and harness the full potential of ISO 222 to efficiently execute trade payments, particularly cross-border transactions. What do you think they're doing over there with XDC? Okay, among the innovators in the field, Impel distinguishes itself as a blockchain-based organization dedicated to expanding the possibilities of ISO 222 beyond its conventional messaging capabilities. Now, when you talk about Impel, I can't help but to think about Globiance and what they did on July 27, 2022, coming in hot. Impel and Globiance are pleased to announce today a memorandum of understanding between Oliver LaRosa, CEO of Globiance, and Troy S. Wood, CEO and founder of Impel. You see, here's what you got to remember about Globiance. They are one of the first leaders in the industry to pilot Impel's ISO 222 financial messaging, a messaging standard that is already widely adopted in more than 70 countries and one the United States aims to implement by 2025. How many times are we going to hear that date? Okay, so here we got Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, okay? Peep his demeanor, okay? And also peep how he talks about crypto. Meanwhile, the whole time they were building the plumbing. Let's go.
And how much, what it means to inflation and everything else, and which of course leads invariably to a conversation we've been having with you now for many years about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. You have been—
Look at his sternness. Look at him.
Skeptical, a bit reluctant to dive completely into the pool, in part over questions about what regulators will ultimately do, etc.
Whole time they were knee deep in crypto.
I am fascinated by it as an asset class. I am still watching. I will tell you, of our, our investors worldwide, we don't have that much inquiry on it. We are investing in it. Rick Reeder's been on your show talking about things that we are doing in it, and we are studying it. We've made money on it.
Of course you did.
I'm here to tell you that we are seeing broad-based interest by institutions worldwide, and you know, I like to say that most of what we do is a reflection of what we are hearing from our clients. So I would clearly tell you worldwide. Go on, Andrew.
What you're saying, what you're saying though, I think is very, very important, and I just want to put a fine point on it, because
Please.
you're speaking to companies all over the world, and you're saying now that you don't believe that companies have a unique interest in this. They're not saying, hey, Larry, we're thinking about how we can get exposure for our balance sheet. Do you have a product? Can you do something? Are you thinking about creating a product for them? And you said, speak directly to that, because, by the way, that is the narrative. It's the narrative around, frankly, even the valuations of the Coinbases of the world, in part because there's a view that institutional money is desperate to be part of this. And you're saying the opposite.
Hello. Fast forward.
Can you talk about how crypto fits? I can't talk about Bitcoin because we have a filing with the SEC, so I'm prohibited. I can talk about crypto in general, and I can talk about what we have done. And now with crypto, the idea of democratizing that role, the cost right now to transact is quite expensive. We're talking points, not decimal points. And so that's a big point. Two, over the last 5 years, more and more global investors are asking us about the role of crypto. And as I said, I do believe a lot of crypto is going to be, it's an international asset. It has a differentiating value versus other asset classes, but more importantly, because it's so international, it's going to transcend any one currency and currency valuation. If you just look at the value of our dollar and how it depreciated the last 2 months and how much it appreciated over the last 5 years, I mean, an international crypto product can really transcend that.
So we got Crypto Area here, just released the XRP Ledger Automated Market Maker Audit. These are the extensive third-party findings by CERTIC. Huge shout out to XRP. Huge shout out to CERTIC for making this happen. Coming in hot again from Crypto Area. Happy to see Lynette does her research. Ladies and gentlemen, I've told you, first you research, then you go research the research that you just researched, and then you buy. Coming in hot, we have Lynette Zhang. Let him have it.
There have been a lot of talk about the BRICS nations, and they've got a symposium coming up, and they're going to back the currency with gold. And I've talked a lot about this because this is certainly not the first time that this issue has come up. But let me show you what's really happening under here, because there is no way that any currency can back their currency with gold until they get rid of all debt. This whole new issue came up again because of a tweet from a Russian state-owned media outlet. BRICS is set to introduce a new currency backed by gold in contrast to the credit-backed US dollar, with the decision coming a month ahead of the bloc summit in Johannesburg. With a growing initiative, more and more countries are lining up to join the group. So on the surface now, everybody's talking about this because that meeting is coming next month. And wow, they can just do this. Let's look at this a little bit deeper. This is where it started from. This is a tweet from the Russian embassy in Kenya. The BRICS countries are planning to introduce a new trading currency which will be backed by gold. More and more countries recently expressed the desire to join. And what they did was they put this article in here from foreignpolicy.com. So that is not any kind of government agency, but to support this claim, that's what they put in there. They did that on July 2nd. But when you go in to that article, so the Russian embassy, and they're going to shake the dollar's dominance. When you go into that article, this article is dated April 24th of 2023. So this is not a new thing. What did they say in that article? Well, I pulled it up, and again, this is a news story. This is not coming from any official agency at all. And I just put Control F in that article to see where they were talking about gold. Got the link, you can read the whole article for yourself. And what it says is, but assets, so this is a suggestion of this article, assets denominated in the BRIC, new currency, would actually have characteristics likely to make them unusually attractive to foreign investors. Among the major drawbacks of gold as an asset class for global investors is that in spite of its risk-reducing value as a diversifier, it does not pay interest. It doesn't have to pay interest because it's the safest thing that you can do.
So, ladies and gentlemen, do your research and diversify. Over here, we have Rosie RIOS. Her name is on the money.
I have a lot of options, but I chose them because they have a functional role. So they facilitate cross-border payments. It's one of their functions with XRP. So it's not just a floating asset out there. They actually have a purpose, right? And so you know, it was the right choice to me. Someone else might have some.
So I'm in the XRP army.
Okay,
To let you
yay,
know,
excellent.
I'm a firm believer of the utility component.
Excellent.
Hopefully, this thing going on right now, the SEC will go away soon.
I think what President Biden's executive order that he announced in March to have this kind of reconnaissance of digital assets for this calendar year is an important one. It may not get to very specific recommendations, but I think the best you're going to hope for, at least today, is at least a path forward. How do you start these conversations? How do you, one of my favorite phrases that you'll hear me quote all the time is, the train's already left the station. Blockchain is here to stay because of fractional real estate, art, NFTs, whatever. It's here to stay. But how do we lay the tracks?
Absolutely.
How do you
and
lay
I've never heard the other side of the table, but imagine both sides are trying to figure out, like, we're trying to figure out the rule book. Like, we're trying to figure, it's never been done.
Look, and here's the thing.
It's very challenging on both sides.
This economy needs innovation.
And so I'll leave you with this, ladies and gentlemen, intergenerational wealth right in front of your face.
When you think about the intergenerational wealth transfer that's going to go on, what do you think about?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. And if you're only thinking about it now, you're behind the 8 ball. The train has left the station. I keep saying that, and it's absolutely true, especially when it comes to this topic. So what people need to realize about intergenerational wealth is it's already happening, right? So we're talking about kind of, so the boomers, which is my generation, you know, we have the most discretionary income. But this next generation, basically, you know, the millennials, although it's pretty much anyone born in the mid-90s and later, are going to inherit this opportunity to really think about investments in a totally different way. So when you think about those generations, so technically, you know, the millennials or anyone born between 1980 and 1996. But again, look, my son's 26, my daughter's 21. I call them the Robin Hood investor, right? But in reality, you know, these are kids who grew up with the internet, right? So anyone who's grown up with the internet, they see the world as very flat. It's no longer what they're taught at home, what they're taught in the classroom. It's what they see. It's what they've learned, the good, the bad, the ugly of the internet. They're very tech savvy, they're very confident, but they don't have the experience that perhaps a lot of wealth managers, financial analysts, managers, etc. need to really understand how to think about their investments. So for me, you know, it was very important that I get into their heads. My daughter's 21, my son is 26. When I left the Obama administration in 2016, after serving both terms, I studied these kids, I call them kids, for 2 years at Harvard. And I really wanted to understand kind of the social, political, economic way that they think and how they behave. And for them, you know, it's kind of this one and done world, right? It's set it and forget it. Right. Technology means everything to them. They're very, very confident, they're very progressive, and they're very savvy. But again, they lack a lot of the world experience that my generation still has. So even here now in this economic downturn, this unprecedented economic downturn, this is where, in my opinion, the wealth management industry has a huge opportunity. It's no longer about taking them out to golf and buying them dinner. It's really kind of thinking about how to use technology and information in a totally different way. So if you're not already on their app, on their phone, and that's how they access information, if you're not already there, you know, you're behind.
Cause it's the standard in this bitch. XRP. I went to YouTube University, and now they mocking me with no degree. We saying by the swift, keep it walking. Respect your elders in these bushes. Bitcoin is talking.
You don't have to be rich to be taking advantage of this. This was the beginning of the greatest transformation of wealth the world has ever fucking seen since World War II.
Blockchain, blockchain. We talking about an intellectual choo-choo train. It's DLT up in these streets, man. That's why we rip all on that blockchain. Blockchain.